Peter and Juan weren't living in front of Claudia's at the time of her going missing. In fact, they were living at the back, where her gate practically touches his brother's back gate. Peter and Juan were actually living at his brother's Shane's. Massive shout out to @GerardNum8959 for informing me of that. You see, that's why I massively appreciate all your viewer comments and all your viewer emails. What we get informed in the background is so important to this. And because of Gerard Num, we now can eliminate one theory. Rowan hadn't yet moved opposite Claudia's, who were living at the back of her, which makes so much sense to the rest of the theories. Now we have one fact. So we're going to have to do videos on strictly the facts. Thanks again at Gerard Num. Now, with all the theories, like I said, going around, it makes me wonder as to why Peter and Juan would then purchase a property in front of Claudia's home. And I feel this contract, buying the property, must have been happening at the time. It must already have been underway. So if Peter and Juan had such a great love for Claudia Lawrence, to go to the lengths of living behind her, purchasing a property in front of her, having lived in the centre in Claudia's home at some point, was it a fixation of Peter and Juan's? Or was it a business deal he were keeping his eye on? Right, once again, I'm joined by Dave. And Dave was the one who located what we believe to be Claudia's vest. Now, he'll always take part in the discussions on Claudia because it's as important to him as it is to us. So, welcome, Dave, back to 33 Sonder.
Hi, 33 Sonder. A nice to all your viewers. Another lovely day. And thank you for the invite once again to discuss a case that really intrigues me, really interests me. The case of Claudia Lawrence.
Oh, thanks. That sounds nice. That's nice of you to say, should I say. Right, David, before we get talking on the Claudia case, can you just say how you became involved, if you can remember that is, and can you say how it was you came about locating what we believe is Claudia's vest?
Yeah, sure. I think the primary interest for me was that it was the fact that there was a young girl who worked full time. She worked hard at a job. She lived on her own. She was making ends meet, and then she went missing. And you know, even though she had a large circle of friends, and she had obviously had workmates there who cared for her, like nobody actually came forward for her. They all promised this and they all promised that, and they all wanted to do things, but it was like she was left out in the cold a little bit. And obviously you had a mum fighting the corner, you had a father fighting the corner, you had Mike Dill's fighting the corner, but it never really got anywhere. And
it seemed to be the same faces advocating for her finding in the press, but it was those same faces where they were having fingers pointed at them for be it the right or wrong reason.
Yeah.
So it didn't sit right.
No, it didn't sit right. And, you know, there's a few things that we know. And one of the biggest tells is, what I couldn't understand is that Peter being a solicitor, and we'll get back to Peter and Martin again. Peter being a solicitor, I could never understand why Peter could not represent himself, why he had to nominate a spokesman. Now, there were a lot of things that happened in the case initially that came to Martin, and Martin wasn't always 100% open with the police. There were a lot of things that frustrated the police, and there were things that were kept back for a number of weeks that should have been put forward straight away. And that was another red flag to me. Now, the real turning point was, I always had my reservations about Martin.
But how did it lead you to finding the vest?
Well, to finding the vest, like I said, I always had my reservations about Martin. And, you know, a lot of the things, you know, somebody's involved in something like this, they do want to keep trophies. They're not going to keep them on the person. They're not going to keep them in the ground. But it will be local. It will be symbolic. And Joan especially was well involved with St Mary's Church. And St Mary's Church, as you know, is only across the road from Martin's house. And
to me, it's like the planting of a Ouija doll, you know, to keep poor Joan tormented.
Yeah.
Energies in that church,
and
not
just
making
so
us.
That we spent time there. You know, for, you know, yourself, we were there for a few hours.
Well, what took us over there? The viewers don't know this, you see, so.
Smash that like, hit the bell, do it right, give me more for the Lord, watch the numbers start to soar.
Oh yeah, right. So yeah, that day, I don't know if you can cast your mind back to that day, but initially we were at the St Mary's in York, which is in the grounds of the Museum Gardens. And the reason we was there is because of the upside down trees. When this came on the news, that's the vision you got. So that's what we searched, and that's where we ended up going.
Well, you actually searched for me and found what you were looking for.
Well, when I was there, I just felt there was something more to it. I think I searched on my phone, and initially the Claudia went missing from Eworth, but when I put St Mary's in, it brought up St Mary's Church in Malton, and that's where we ended up. We ended up going to Malton for that reason.
Yeah, because I think in the media it was literally about Claudia, Eworth Road, York, Eworth Road, Nags Head. There was no mention really of Malton, not to my knowledge. But you searched, you found.
We went there, and and eventually we came across the vest. And unbeknown to us, we didn't know at that time that Martindale's lived across the road. We knew Martindale's, but we didn't know
that it was local or out like that.
Across the road.
No.
And I don't know if you can remember casting back again.
Well, I'll stop you there. Can you remember it? Well, the fact that Claudia's, we were trying to look for clues naturally, and it was because I'd mentioned to you that she was also wearing a white chef's overall.
Yeah.
And it was on our way back that you said it's triggered you that you'd actually noticed something white behind a tombstone.
Oh yeah, we didn't take it out straight away, did we?
No, it was the following week.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was just a very vague. It was sort of buried in the leaves, wasn't it, a little bit?
I didn't see it. I were unaware at the time. Yeah.
So I don't know why I left it there actually. Because normally I'd have got that out, but I don't know. It's only when we were chatting afterwards it started to bring it all back. To the point where the following week we went back to retrieve it.
He said, oh yeah, because you've mentioned that you were wearing, we'd gone through all that she had, you know, a backpack, tongs, a phone, and when I'd mentioned the chef's overall, it triggered a thought in Dave's mind, and he said, do you know what, I saw something white sticking out behind a tombstone. So we went back, and that's when we took that guy with us.
Yeah. But following on from that, then it just expanded, didn't it? Then
Yeah.
we found out a lot of other things.
And things have been really drawing us to the spokesman without apportioning any form of blame, but maybe a bit of strangeness around him.
Yeah.
Such as what he had on Facebook at the time.
Yeah.
Can you remember what I'm saying? Well, you've just said, I know you do.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we didn't know where the spokesman lived. And it were only as we were walking, as we come out of the church and we crossed the road and then we started walking back down, we
had it going up.
We both felt something. We both felt something strange.
We had it going in we passed this place and felt it.
Yeah.
And coming back, we felt it. The following week, you brought a man with you, and we whispered to each other, let's see if he can feel out. And lo and behold, straight away as he passed a particular property, he felt it too.
Yeah, that is strange.
To the point, he looked up and saw Martin close the curtains really sharply.
Yeah.
Which we found odd.
And we saw Claudia's missing leaflet in the window.
Now describe that leaflet, Dave, in earnest.
It was tucked in the corner. The most prominent thing was the Royal Navy Life Institute. I can see it now. And the first thing that hit me was, like, if this is your friend's daughter and this is somebody you really care about,
and you're meant to be,
this would be prominent. It wouldn't be stuck in a corner somewhere as a token gesture with all the other
just nondescript.
All I remember is the R and L one.
Minuscule.
Yeah.
I remember there was the cross made of wreaths. What are they called now? Palm cross. I forget the name, but there were one of them by the Royal Navy. There were about 4 little effigies, non-relating to each other. And Claudia did seem really out of place. To say it was his best friend's daughter, who also used to babysit for him. There was nothing shouting out or showing any real person walking past that unless you were staring at that little window.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No. And it's not that, it's the way he hid in the house. It was like, he knew we were there, but
we could have been there for good information in reference to Claudia. But in earnesty, there's no way did he want to know.
No.
Would you agree?
Would you?
Recollections. Now, so while talking about the vest and the find, I'd just like to focus again for a little while on Martin Dales, who were Claudia Lawrence's spokesman in the press, who were also responsible for putting out images and misleading information to the public, to the media. But why I want to talk about him is because of the proximity of the vest that David found. It makes me think, if Claudia were to have just gone away, then would she not have kept that vest on? And if something has happened to Claudia of a sinister nature, then the vest and the quality of that vest befits that too. So why would somebody want a trophy token off a person who may possibly be still alive, just under witness protection? So naturally, with a vest and the other 3 items, it automatically meant that we're on this journey with you guys for Claudia Lawrence. It's not something we could just walk away from.
Yeah, before we finish with the with Martin, am I alright to mention what we found on Facebook? which was a bit strange.
The image.
If you remember.
Yeah, the image. Yeah, because I'm sure you can, because it were on Facebook.
So don't forget, we'd actually been around there a few times. We actually knocked his door, and he knew we were knocking his door, and he still ignored us.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was only a couple of weeks afterwards, he put up an image of his wife in a wedding dress.
Was it afterwards? Or did we find it afterwards?
No, we found. No, I'm sure. I'll check the date on that.
Check that.
Yeah.
But what you did find it?
I'm sure it would after. There was nothing up there. Then he put this image up after we'd been there.
Right.
And it was his wife wearing a wedding dress, and he put some caption up as though to say, you know, she hasn't changed from the first day we married, and she's in a pose of a serene angel. But the wedding dress, you could see where the zipper couldn't fasten at the back. It was nearly strangling her. She looked frightened to death. And I'm
not being funny, guys. She actually looked, and that is really in just my opinion, and I'd say thousands of others if they actually remember or saw that, if it's still there. But in my humble opinion, what Martin did there, it was horrifying for her. If you had to, you know, like read a book and the imagination runs wild, while I'm looking at that picture, to me it was like he'd released her from a closet for a couple of seconds to pose in a frock that didn't fit whatsoever.
No.
She looked horrified. Her face spoke volumes, and the person behind that camera, I'd imagine him to have been in like a beast mode at the time. And that really is, in my opinion.
I don't know what Hazel's response is actually, and her interpretation of it.
Yeah. But, yeah, Dave's right there. I do remember that. I don't know if we're able to show off the image. If we get asked to remove it, then I'll remove it.
In fact,
but maybe we will put it up.
It was put up.
Oh, have you found it?
Yeah.
Not that it matters and not that it's part of the Claudia case, but it is part of a character build on the spokesman, which I found quite important because he's showing the world this, and his reckoning is showing the world it with pride. Right, what date was that put up?
That was put up on the 9th of September 2016.
9th of September.
I'll read out what is put up there.
Right, read it out.
Mother looking as good as ever in her wedding dress on our 33rd anniversary.
Mother looking as good as ever in her wedding dress on our 31st anniversary. 33rd anniversary.
33 Sunday.
33, oh wow.
She says she feels 26 again.
Wow.
Love continues. But, I'll
put that image up and then it can just... Yeah, I'll put that image up. It's a sad picture. And we've met her a few times since then, and she's like born again. In fact, she's like a baby Jack Russell.
Like and subscribe.